Why are you naked?
Because I got 2 kids, I need to get naked too. It's an earthquake. I'm gone. Thank you, Lord.
What's going on, Real News Gang? I survived my stay in Chaz. I want to say thank you to all of you that donated to get me there to cover the insanity and the joke, which is the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. Some Chazonians are calling it CHOP now, which is interesting because they've only existed for about a week and a half, going on 2 weeks, and it seems that the Chazonian people are disagreeing within themselves who they really are. Are they Chazonians? Are they Choponians? They're changing their name? It seems like Chaz is already on the brink of a civil war. Chaz is a very, very interesting place where there's no law. They're autonomous. They're self-governed. The only law that really exists is kind of like somewhere along the lines of the #1 commandment in Satanism, do as thou wilt. If you believe that and you practice that in Chaz, you'll pretty much fit in. But the autonomous nation and the autonomous zone is filled with people that just want to be free, that hate capitalism, but can only exist by the surrounding capitalist nation, America. Chazonia is a place where violence is normative. Chazonia and the Chazomite people, they do whatever they want, and they will keep doing whatever they want until they get what they want. It does seem to be a little bit of a, I would say, Joseph Stalin's Soviet Union mixed with a little bit of Woodstock and a dash of Coachella, and I would say somewhere along the lines, some Jim Jones colony vibes, if you know what I'm talking about. But we're going to talk about what I observed in Chazonia. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell notification to never miss a post by me, because we are absolutely deboosted if you haven't noticed by now. And also make sure to support my work through Patreon or through PayPal. The links are below. If you haven't done that yet, make sure to do it right now. Let's begin. So we were covering Chazonia. I was there Friday, Saturday, and God, I was there Sunday as well. And I had to leave Monday because you lose your soul being around these people. The first thing that happened was the Chazonites lost their mind when a Christian and street preacher entered into the autonomous zone. Take a look.
Black Lives Matter! Love you, bro. Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! All souls matter!
Not yours.
Black Lives Matter!
That's pretty hateful.
All souls
That's
matter!
matter.
That's souls
That's
matter!
hateful.
What shall die?
Take it down the street. Take it to the corner. Nobody wants it here.
We're not leaving!
You're not leaving, but you're not.
We got a mission! We give you the word of God!
Nobody wants you here. Take your
It's time to repent!
Now, this street preacher was very fire and brimstone. He was preaching the gospel, but when he was talking about Jesus to the Chazomites, they obviously don't believe in any kind of religion, so they will kill you if you enter there with any kind of religion other than their own self-identified religion, which is themselves. Anyways, they lost their minds when this preacher came in and started talking about Jesus to the local Chazonians. They got violent with him. One of the Chazonians actually got in his face and started to threaten him his life. Take a look.
You'll die out here, bro. You'll die out here. Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Worse than death!
Now, they also forcefully removed him to literally putting him in some kind of grapple, some weird Chazonian jujitsu grapple.
No, guidelines, stop! Let go of my property! Let go of my property! Let go of my property! Somebody fucking grab him! You're hurting me! You're hurting me! Help!
They even stole his speaker when he was playing his Jesus music. That's how much of a threat that the Chazonians saw this scary Christian preacher. Man, take a look.
I rebuke you, devil! No, you're out of here. You're out of here. Give me the cereal! I'm gonna punch you, you fucking man! I'm gonna punch you, you fucking man!
So a Black Lives Matter advocate had the genius idea to save Chazonia from this scary Christian preacher from talking about Jesus by stealing his phone and somehow using it as a way to lead him out of Chazonia. Take a look at this clip.
He's stolen my property. I have his phone. I have his phone. I have his phone. He's taking my property. Stop him. I've been robbed. I've been robbed. I've been robbed because he swiped it. This man swiped my phone.
Now here's the thing. We have a mixture of absolute lawlessness in Chazonia when a Christian walks into the Chazamite village or self-autonomous nation. When a Christian walks in and starts talking about Jesus, it's not tolerated, even though they believe in tolerance. To the point where they put him in a jiu-jitsu grapple, you guys saw it, where they start threatening his life with murder. And even to the point of using force, which is ironic because Black Lives Matter claims to be there because they're against using force against particularly black people. And this is just a guy that was talking about Jesus. And it escalated to violence and literally putting hands on the man because he was talking about God in the Chazonia nation, because there is no free speech. There is no love. There is no tolerance. They are everything that they claim to be against. They claim to be against fascism. They claim to be against any form of dictatorship or any form of authoritarianism, but that is exactly who they are. When a Christian walks into Chazonia, that's how he's dealt with. Now, the same day, in Chazonia, later in the day, towards the late afternoon, I don't know what time it was, but the sun was starting to go down, Patriot showed up. 2 were white, 1 was black. Now, remember, Chazonia has been established by taking over the police precinct, right? To make a statement that cops are bad because black people are being targeted and crucified and slayed in the streets by cops. It's all about black people not being targeted and not being harassed or not being in any way, shape, or form becoming a victim of brutality, right? So a black patriot walks into Chazonia, and the Chazamites lost their minds. They literally lost their minds when a black man carrying an American flag walked into Chazonia. This is how they responded. Even black people were freaking out. Take a look.
If they're gonna come in here with the flag,
you came in peace, right? I'm gonna ask you to step out there.
Race traitor! Race traitor! Race traitor! Race traitor! Are you proud to be black, race traitor? Are you proud to be black? Get bullied? It's alright, we all get bullied, bro. Get up, man. Get a pussy. Stop what? I do my man, bro. Stop what? Stop what? Bring it down! Bring it down! Y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stop. Go, man. Let's go. Yeah, I know you know what I'm talking about. Let's go. I know, but it's okay. Y'all go get on board with that shit. Let's go get on board with that shit.
Now, this escalated very quickly. Now, what's interesting about this is the point I was making before I showed you guys the clips, is that these people are here advocating for black lives. And when a black man enters into Chazonia, even black people are freaking out, calling him a race traitor, shouting all kinds of racial slurs at him. And it makes no sense because these people are hypocrites. They don't care about black people. It's not about the color of your skin. These people don't care about black people. They don't care about black lives. Because when a black patriot walks into Chazonia, he gets dealt with this way. It's not about black people. It's about power. It's about control. If you don't think like them, if you're not one of us to the Chazamites, even if you're black, this is how you get dealt with. The conclusion of this ended with Antifa literally stalking these people. This guy was black, literally stalking these patriots to their car in order to dox them and take down their license plate number so they could find them later. Take a look at how we caught these guys in the act.
let's go.
Bravo 3.
5, 3, 9, or 8. You get Y. Hi, I'm our security on our side. You guys came and instigated.
Why are you
taking their number?
What? So
Who
we can
are
add
you
it.
working with?
Who am I working with?
Why are you taking their license plate number?
John Brown Gun Club. So
Okay, so why are you taking their license plate number?
they came and instigated. We have a list of license plate.
What's your tag?
What's my tag?
What's your tag, sir? Let's get yours.
What are you taking the license plate for?
He's got no plate. Now let me remind you, these people claim to be doing this in the name of Black Lives Matter, advocating for black people to live. This escalated to the point of these people being doxxed. Thank God we were there to stop that guy. And if you notice the clip, the guy was bug-eyed with his eyes wide open. And we've actually been corroborating this guy in multiple pictures, multiple videos. This is Antifa, and this is what they do to people. They dox them in order to find them later and to hurt them really bad, destroy their lives, because that's what they want to do. And that's why Donald Trump designated these people as domestic terrorists. Now I'm going to show you guys a couple clips of some things that I saw in Chazonia that was pretty hypocritical. I mean, a lot of people on the left, a lot of self-proclaimed socialists and communists will say that they are for the Green New Deal and they're for green energy and that fossil fuels are evil and they should be eradicated from the face of the earth. This is what Bernie Sanders was running on, literally. And AOC literally advocates every day of her miserable, useless life. But I noticed a few things. Number one, Chazonia doesn't operate off of green energy. They operate off of fossil fuels. Take a look.
Symbol of culture. It's a weapon. Yes. The drum is a symbol of culture.
Now, another hilarious thing is that Chazonia claims to be self-autonomous. They claim to be literally separate from the United States of America. They do not identify as Americans. They identify as self-autonomous Chazonians or Choponians. Call them whatever the hell you want. So isn't it interesting that the Chazomite people are self-autonomous, but they still use U.S. currency and they still participate in the United States economy, and they're still, literally still, hypocritically are engaging in U.S. commerce. Take a look.
718-414-0694. Church guys, man.
Literally, guys, and the Chazonian entertainment is something that you have never seen in your life.
If you want to see some changes, let's present where you are!
Misplaced hate makes disgrace the racist.
Check it!
I wonder what it takes to make this
Where you are?
better place. Let's erase the waste.
Check it!
Take the evil out the people that be acting.
Revolution time! Check it!
I gotta get
Three people with that! Three people with that! Everybody!
Yeah, Tupac would be proud. I'm pretty sure when he was writing that song Changes, that this is exactly what he pictured in his mind. Oh, and I came across the Chazonian school depot where they have their educational values. They sit around and they talk about things that are bothering them in their little safe zones, but they do have an educational depot set up where they literally show the public what we've learned today. And take a look at the top of their educational depot. It has their educational center's mission statement on the top. It's very clear. And if you don't believe that these are a bunch of commies and socialist retards, take a look at this clip.
You think this flag is peaceful?
It is. This flag is
Oh, what's it represent?
the greatest country on earth.
What?
By what?
Motherfucker, what? First of all,
Why
America,
is it not?
because America is an empire
We
that
have
represents
1/4
the fucking genocide of the Native Americans, the enslavement of Africans here in the territory of America. And when you fly that flag, it's offensive. It's offensive to me. It's offensive to most people I know.
Then why do you live here?
I don't have a choice. I'm trying to leave here. I'm trying to bring this shit down.
So instead of trying to change America, why don't you just leave?
Well, that's not a very democratic spirit you have there. That's not democracy.
Isn't that
the
kind
fuck?
of against well, what's
You sound
happening
like a Nazi.
is
And if you're white and you're not mad enough or you're not loud enough while you're protesting with the black people, this is how you'll be dealt with.
We're here to march. We're here to be loud. Black people are getting killed. That's why we're in these streets. That's why you should be pissed. You don't look pissed.
I'm not.
This is what pissed looks like.
Okay.
Being mad is
I
loud.
just haven't slept in days inside.
I slept in the park, bitch, for weeks. I'm here every day.
Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. Even though the Chazamite people are self-autonomous and they're not Americans and they've separated themselves from the United States of America, they're still calling for people to vote in the American election. I don't know what election they plan on voting in if they're not Americans. They're Chazonians and they don't want to be a part of America, but it seems like that there are Democrats still recruiting and registering voters.
Are you registered to vote? If we're here, I feel like is your mom registered to vote? But I don't think you can say that. Are your friends registered to vote?
Alrighty, guys, I really don't have to say much. I think the clips speak for themselves. These people are radical communists, socialists, Marxists, individuals that don't care about the rule of law, that want to be separate from the United States of America, but still benefit from the capitalism of the United States of America because they're clearly not self-autonomous, but they are violent. Because if you go into Chaz and you don't have the same ideology as they do, even if you're black, you'll have your life threatened. And if you're a Christian and you walk into Chazonia, you will be dealt with and your life will be threatened. And what's interesting about all of this, you guys, is that the city of Seattle is still allowing taxpayer-funded services to still fund the Chazonian people to have their little way. It's like, just let the kids do what they want to do because we don't want to be mean and we want to be passive and we don't want to seem like the bad parents and discipline our kids because we won't be the cool parents and we won't be relevant and we'll be seen as abusive for issuing any discipline for bad behavior. Chazonia is literally like allowing your little kids to just play in the sandbox, and it literally doesn't look like anything. It looks like a pile of junk, and you sit there and say, oh my God, honey, it's so cute. Such a great job. You're doing so well. Keep doing it. Here are some brownie points. But you know that that little thing down there is nothing but crap. Real News Gang, thank you guys for tuning in. We will be posting videos like this weekly, so make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification. If you guys want to support my work, to send me out to cover any more events or anything going on in the United States of America, I am completely independent. I don't have a big organization behind me. I don't have a giant media company behind me. I am literally working for the people, literally. So when you guys donate or when you guys back me up on Patreon or if you guys buy some merch, it is literally supporting what I do. So I thank you guys so much. See you guys next time. Later, gang.